Howdy, I'm Lee Wilson and this is TGO Wyoming, and today I'm going to go over the Taurus PT738 TCP. It's an excellent little pocket pistol, show clear here, and I'm going to kind of go over some of the features of it and why I got it. You know, I have my 24/7 in 45 ACP, which has been my daily carry gun for quite some time, and it works, but concealment garments, you know, depending on weather, it's not always the easiest thing to conceal. I also have my 24/7 OSS in 45, which is just not easy to conceal at all, and I don't even bother with it. So I decided I'd go with a pocket pistol. And all 380 pocket guns are all the rage now on the market, and there's a lot of good offerings out there. And I've tested several of them. I've shot the Recoil CP, and which my sister actually carries. I've shot a Magnum Research Micro Eagle, which is better used as a fist pack than a defensive gun. And other guns in the running, aside from the TCP, were the 6-hour P238 and the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard BG380. So I decided, you know, for the money and for the features, that the Taurus was the way I was going to go, since the Ruger LCPs don't fit in my hand very well. So, basic overview of the gun. I got the stainless steel slide version, or actually the brushed stainless. Both versions are stainless steel. One is just blued, one is brushed stainless. The gun holds 6 rounds of .380, and surprisingly enough, I was kind of shocked to see this. Most Tauruses are made in Brazil, but this one here is actually made in the States. Stamped right there, TCP, made in the USA. So a pretty cool little offering there. It's a recoil operated gun, and it has a working slide lock. External extractor, which is a very nice little feature, and a loaded chamber indicator right above the extractor, so you always know when there's one in the pipe. What do you get when you get the TCP? Well, you get a little Taurus box, and on the inside you're going to find a few different things. We'll toss that out of the way. The gun comes, of course, with a Taurus security system, which is slightly different from the other TSS's. You get your 2 little keys here. TSS on this works right back by the butt, so you can stick it in there, lock it, and lock down the gun. Again, a feature that's on every single Taurus, and, you know, pretty good little feature if you have to run out of town, leave your gun at home for some reason. The gun comes in a Bulldog carrying case. So you get it like this. And this is actually a really cool little case. We'll do a demonstration video on how to use the Bulldog carrying case. Very inconspicuous, well made, good nylon, probably 450, 500 denier nylon. Comes with a belt clip on it, which I took off, and I just use the belt loop feature of it. So you get that along with the gun. That's kind of a nice little feature. The gun features a slide lock, so you have your last shot, you know, slide hole open, and unlike some of the other offerings on the market, you get 2 magazines. Now these hold 6 rounds of .380 apiece, and they fit flush with the bottom of the pistol. Pistol itself is a polymer frame with a stainless steel slide and a fairly good barrel and a metal guide rod, which is something I like to see. That's not a plastic guide rod, it actually is a real steel guide rod. The sights are milled into the actual slide, so they're low profile, they don't snag on anything, but they're not adjustable. So you really need to get out and use this and see what your point of impact is. The gun is a double action, but it has to be recocked. You have your first sear set, and you have to let the trigger come out to the second sear set, and then you can pull it again. So all the way back, go. Overall, it's a very smooth trigger. Out of all of the .380s on the market, this has probably the best trigger. It is a little light on the hammer strike, but when we were out shooting it the other day, we had no problems firing it at all. The trigger guard is nice and, you know, open, so you can get your finger in there even with gloves. We did test it with gloves on, and it worked perfectly well. The grip is textured here on the sides, and on the back has more of a stippling on the back and then straight grooves on the sides. Your magazine release is very positive to engage. You just push it in and it goes. So, but it's also fits flush alongside of the frame, so you're not accidentally going to eject your magazine while carrying it, which of course is not a problem if you use the Bulldog case. So, got your little TCP owner's manual here. Let's jump to some of the specs here. Let's see here. Taurus claims with a 95 grain full metal jacket you're going to get around 1,000 feet per second muzzle velocity out of this little thing, which, you know, not bad. It's a 380, it's a pocket gun. You implement it to, you know, get yourself out of trouble, get back to your vehicle, get yourself out of a bad situation, get back to your real guns, which would be my OSFs. So, specifications according to Taurus. It's a 380 ACP, which we've already gone over. Double action only trigger. 6+1 rounds, or an 8+1 round with an extended magazine. Now I haven't seen the extended magazine, but I think I'm going to get one just to test it for, you know, grins. 2.84 inch barrel. Overall length is 5.2 inches. Overall height is 3.75 inches with the standard magazine. Overall width is 0.87 inches. Trigger pull is between 5 and 7 pounds, which I believe. It's a very smooth trigger pull, like I said, though. Weight is 10.2 ounces unloaded. Slide, of course, stainless steel, they say there. Barrel, stainless steel. Grip, polymer with metallic subframe. And, of course, has a loaded chamber indicator, the TSS, Taurus Security System. And this is the matte stainless finish. Disassembly is a breeze on this gun. Lock it back, make sure it's empty. You have a single pin here, which you just pull out and drop down. Run the slide forward, and it all comes off. Now, everything that is important on this gun all rides on steel frame. So while you do have your polymer frame here, the slide rides on steel rails, which is a very nice feature. Very well constructed inside. The fit and finish is nice. I've been very pleased with it. No concerns there. Got a slight catch in my trigger, which is just where the actual hammer disengages off of its little shelf. You have your recoil spring on your guide rod there. Is actually a 2-spring system, a light spring and a heavier spring, so that's kind of a nice little setup. Barrel is machined well. There's not a whole lot going on the inside of the gun. It's very simple, very easy to clean, and very easy to maintain. It's overall a good setup. I'm pleased with it. Reassembly is a breeze. You get your barrel pulled forward. That's probably the hardest part of getting this back in here. Just getting that barrel to move forward. Grab your locking pin. There's a little detent spring in there, and you kind of got to get past that spring, move your barrel back into the right position, run that pin back in, make sure it functions, do a function check, and you're good to go. So overall, pleased with it. We shot it the other day, and it kicks like an angry mule, so on a bad day. One thing I've noticed is that when you do fire it, the gun recoils, and you have a tendency to hit your finger into the bottom of the trigger guard. It could just be the cold weather and the fact that our hands were cold and it stung and hurt. But we're going to test it, of course, you know, continue to test it and get a good thorough idea of how this gun performs. And no problem with gloves on. And in the warm weather, might be a little easier to hold on to. We were out shooting in 34-degree weather when we were testing it. And it just cycled every single time, ate up all the ammo, chewed it out. You can hear my cat again. But that's pretty much it. We'll do another video on implementation of the Bulldog carrying case and how to use it effectively in a concealed carry situation. So thank you all for joining us, and until next time, stay safe and shoot straight.